Hello and welcome. Good morning. Good Monday morning, July the 3rd. Tonight we have a full moon. Let's dive in and see what the cards are going to predict for us, for energies that are going to be influencing us. In this video, we are going to be doing 3 separate readings. I will dive into exactly how that works in just a moment. For those of you who are returning here, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. For those of you who are new here, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Marnie. I am also known as the Intuitive Butterfly. I am a psychic and a certified intuitive counselor. If any of this resonates with you, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider giving this video a like, possibly subscribing to my channel. Yes, I speak English and I'm stumbling over my words. Possibly subscribing to my channel. And also, if this resonates deeply with you and you feel a connection, there is a contact link down below so that you can book a private appointment with me. Okay, how does this work? Every Monday, I jump onto a video and I do 3 separate readings. The way that you decide which reading is best for you is I ask you to go into a very light meditative state. Don't allow your mind to jump in right now and go, oh my God, I don't feel like meditating right now. Okay. We're talking about going into a very light, relaxed state for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes at the most. And then from that light, relaxed state, I ask you to select from your intuitive side one of 3 rocks, gems, or trinkets which have been previously assigned to one of my tarot or oracle card decks. I will put timestamps down below. So let's dive into our light meditative state. Allow yourself to get comfortable and take a couple of deep breaths. You may choose to be lying down or sitting up. It really doesn't matter at this point. You may choose to open your eyes and leave them open and watch the video, or you may choose to close your eyes so that you can have a more internal experience. Either way, this is about relaxation. This is about stepping back from the busy mind. Begin to pay attention to your breath and pay attention to my voice. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale consciously, relax. Take another deep breath in. Allow it to fill all the way down to the bottom of your lungs and even into your abdomen. And as you exhale, relax deeply. Exhale consciously. Pay attention. And we're going to do this one more time. Deep inhale, all the way down to the deepest recesses of your lungs, to the point that the top of your abdomen begins to rise as it's also filling with a little bit of air, and then consciously exhale with a sigh. And notice how much more relaxed you are now than you were just 1.5 minutes ago. This is really all it takes in order to talk ourselves off of a ledge sometimes. Many of us have decided that meditation requires a long period of time, that it requires way too much concentration and effort. But this little short 2-minute exercise has just proven that theory wrong. So bring this forward into your day and into your consciousness and into your belief system. All it takes is 3 deep conscious breaths in order to bring about your intuitive awareness. Okay, if you've had your eyes closed, please open your eyes. I'm going to present this week's rocks, gems, or trinkets. Now, I do highly recommend that you wait to make your decision until all 3 have been presented, and then make your decision from that place of intuitive awareness. Also, if you are drawn towards one of the rocks, gems, or trinkets, and then another one comes out and you go, oh, but I want that one as well, please consider watching both segments of this video, as oftentimes if you're drawn to two different rocks, gems, or trinkets, there are commonalities and common themes that run through the readings. All right, so the very first rock, gem, or trinket we're going to present this week is a pendulum. This is an Aventurine pendulum. We do have the tree of life on one end, and I'm just going to put my hand up here so that you can see the color of this pendulum. So if you are drawn towards this Aventurine pendulum, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 1. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find my Moonstone, but I felt very drawn to work with Moonstone this week. So I pulled out a Moonstone earring because it was more accessible than the Moonstone that I normally use. So if you are drawn towards this lovely Moonstone earring, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 2. And finally, we have a homemade sage stick. Don't know if you can see this there. Let me put my hand up. This sage was picked in southern Alberta, the end of May, early June, and then it was tied up by my dear friend, and it's been hanging in my RV drying. So if you are drawn towards this homemade beautiful sage stick, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 3 this week. Okay, it is time for you to make your choice, and then you can check the timestamps down below. The Aventurine pendulum, the Moonstone, or this lovely piece of sage. All right, let's get started. For those of you who selected the Aventurine pendulum, I will be pulling cards for you this week from the Fairy Tarot. Welcome to July the 3rd, full moon tonight. Please help us to understand the energies and influences for those who selected the Aventurine this week. What energies and influences are affecting those who selected the Aventurine this week? We have a card. Not quite sure which way that one's going to go. Yes, it did actually come out. Is there anything else? Yep, there we go. 2 cards out of the deck. Anything else? Nope. All right. Okay, so the very first card that came out for you is the wheel, and the second card that came out is life experiences. Very interesting. Both cards are part of the major arcana of the tarot. This is the number 10 card. This is the number 16 card. Not sure if you notice what happens to be on this card. This card corresponds to the Tower, which indicates change. It indicates the necessity to let go of belief systems that no longer serve us. This is an important life-changing event that's coming up for you. But the wheel coming in right next to it indicates that there is sudden and unexpected good luck coming in for you this week. So I absolutely love this. Now, the way that these actually came out was with the 10, or the wheel of fortune first, and then the number 16 card, or the life experience and tower card, came out second. What this is telling me is that for those of you who selected this Aventurine pendulum this week, there is a chance that there's going to be some news coming into you. Wheel of Fortune, life-altering type news that's going to be coming into you this week. It's going to be shocking, it's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to be life-altering. Having said that, however, at initial glance, like a lot of people see the Tower card come out in the tarot and they have an absolute freak out. Oh my goodness. The world is ending, the sky is falling, etc., etc. In reality, when the Tower appears, yes, of course, it indicates change, and it typically indicates sudden radical change. But what that sudden radical change is doing is making way for something way more beautiful, way more positive to come into our lives. And so at initial glance, this news, this sudden and unexpected good luck and news that's coming in as a result of the Wheel of Fortune may initially look like the sky is falling. But once the dust settles, you're going to pick yourself up and go, wow, how did I not see this before? This is absolutely amazing. Woohoo. And you're going to get really, really excited about it. It's actually beautiful. When we accept, not accept that one of the only things that isn't 100% constant in life is change. When we accept that on a really true deep level, and then change comes about in our life, it's not nearly as shocking as some people who see the Tower seem to believe that it is. It really isn't. It's a beautiful thing. The other thing that I do want to say about the Tower, or the life experience card coming up, is that oftentimes what happens is when people experience a Wheel of Fortune / Tower moment in their lives, what's actually happening is when the dust settles, they get up, they dust themselves off, they look around and they go, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. What typically happens is that the universe says, hey, you should go in this direction. Come on, go this way. And you ignore it. And the universe says, hey, you need to change your course and make some changes. And you ignore it. And then the universe says, hey, I'm trying to get your attention over here. There is a course alteration here. You need to take this detour. And you go, whatever. And then the universe does this. And the universe goes, you know what? You're going to go on that path because this is the path that you agreed to walk, that your soul agreed to walk on the other side. There is a lesson in this for you. And all of a sudden, you're covered in dust and debris, and you're going, where did that come from? And the universe is sitting there going, I tried to tell you. And when the dust settles, that's when you stand up and you go, yeah, I should have seen that coming. Okay. And then you look around and you're like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? Okay. That's the energies that you're dealing with this week. Those of you who selected this Aventurine pendulum. So exciting energies here, especially with us starting off the week with a full moon. We're going to look at the card on the bottom of the deck to see. Oh, actually, I'm going to pull up a couple of cards off the bottom of the deck here. So, yeah, that one too. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the first card that came up on the bottom of the deck for you, look at all of these major arcana. You have 2 major arcana here, and then you have another 3 major arcana right underneath the deck. This is unbelievable that this many major arcana are coming out for you. When we look at the bottom of the deck for the purposes of this reading, we're looking at the shadow. We're looking at what you are not seeing, what's bubbling below the surface, but you're turning a blind eye to it. Not surprising, because you're going through a drastic life experience at this time. So you really are not seeing the 10 of Summer, which is also known as the 10 of Cups. This is a happy card. This is about an emotionally fulfilling life. This is about uh, friends. This is about family coming together. This is about positive, positive, positive. And right now, as you're going through this, you're going, shadow. Yeah, I can't see that right now. The other card that you have underneath the deck is the sun. Again, one of the happy cards. Like, honestly, these two cards are considered two of the happiest cards in the entire deck of tarot, the sun and the 10 of cups. And you got both of them as your shadows. What's that telling me? You're failing to experience the joy of life, the joy of summer if you're in the northern hemisphere and watching this. Everything around you, there is so much joy and happiness for you. The sun is shining down on you. There are rainbows and unicorns coming in for you. But you're concentrating on this. Okay. So yeah, plans are going to work out perfectly in the end, just like I said before I ever even looked at the bottom of the deck. The other two cards that you have here, one is the Magician. The Magician reminds us that we create our own reality. This is something that I feel that you needed to be reminded of, because when we're in the middle of going through a tower moment or a life experience type moment, we forget that, you know what, we probably put that there. We created that because we knew that there was a lesson in it for us to learn. And you have the Strength card. You need to hear this reminder right now that you have the strength to get through this week and all of these super powerful energies. And you're going to come out on the other side with this 10 of cups and this sun. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to move on to the next reading. Okay, for those of you who selected this Moonstone earring, it's kind of hard to see the light there we go, Moonstone earring. I'm going to be pulling cards for you from Messages from the Guides. This is a relatively new deck to me. Okay. All right, so let's check and see what messages you need to hear this week, especially considering tonight is a full moon. We have the full buck moon or the full thunderstorm moon happening tonight. So what messages do you need to hear right now? Okay, so we do have two cards that have popped out onto my surface, and we have one card that decided not to go back in the deck. So we're going to pull that one out as well. Okay, let's take a look. Appreciate your talents, a message that you need to hear this week. Accept struggles as lessons and possess self-confidence. Okay, so for those of you that selected this Moonstone pendant this week, this earring, I do want to say you might be interested in also watching the video for the Aventurine Pendulum. And here's why. They had a really, really strong reading about struggles. And so this is a theme this week that there are going to be some struggles facing many of us. We are going into the summer months, which changes the energy. The kids are out of school. And there's quite a bit going on for us. And to top it off, we've got this full moon coming out tonight, which is going to affect us for the vast majority of the week coming up. So recognize that when we are struggling a little bit, it is actually a life lesson. And when we accept that, all of a sudden our perspective on it and our feelings around that change. It's actually a good thing. Possess self-confidence, right? Because when we're going through a struggle and trying to learn a new lesson, sometimes our self-confidence can waver. So if you are experiencing a situation where you might be feeling a little bit like imposter syndrome is coming in, you're maybe not uncomfortable with your talents, appreciate your talents. Really dig deep and recognize how special you truly are. Okay. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. The bottom of the deck is going to tell us what your shadow is this week. Your shadow this week is your ego. Let go of your ego. So when we pull a card off the bottom of the deck, typically it represents the shadow. It represents energies that are bubbling and brewing below the surface that are influencing us, but we may not be consciously aware of that influence. But it is influencing us, and typically it's influencing us in a way that can be perceived as being negative. Let go of your ego, okay? Here's the thing. If you're not appreciating your talents in a authentic, organic way, as opposed to coming from the place of ego, that can look a little bit ugly. So many of us were told as children that we are not good enough. And really, all of these cards this week are indicating that you are good enough, but you needed to hear this reminder this week that there are struggles. We're all going to experience struggles because change is a constant in our lives. But you have confidence. You have amazing talents. But you know what? Your ego keeps getting in the way of that. So when we can overcome issues that are directly related to our egos, all of a sudden there's a whole growth spurt that happens in our spiritual development. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. And if this resonated with you, if these messages resonated with you this week, please consider giving this video a like. All right, moving right along to those of you who selected the homemade sage stick. Going to be pulling cards for you from the Osho Zen Tarot this week. Okay. Tapping into the energy of the full buck thunderstorm moon tonight on Monday night. What energies will be influencing those who selected the sage stick this week? What's coming up for those who selected the sage stick? What's influencing them? It's coming up. Oh, interesting. We're not going to have anything come out initially. Oh, we got one out. Oh, there we go. They were right at the top of the deck. Okay. So we do have 3 cards that have come out for you, 2 of which are from the Suit of Pentacles. You have the 2 of Pentacles and you have the Page of Pentacles coming out here. And the other card that you have is the Silence card. Beautiful. Okay. The moment-to-moment card is a card of decisions. It's a card of recognizing that some of the energies that are coming in for us are going to be presenting us with choices, important choices coming up this week. And the best way to be able to tap in to make the right decision for us is living our life moment to moment rather than living our life in projections. And that is reflected again by the slowing down card, this tortoise over here on this card. And then it is reflected yet again by the major arcana coming in and saying, silence this week. Silence is really, really important. And I do want to point out that on this particular card, you have a representation of the full moon tapping directly into the third eye of the character on this card. Okay. Going within, slowing down, and living in the present moment are your key themes this week. To be perfectly honest, when I do these weekly readings, it is very, very seldom that I have 3 cards that come out that have almost identical meanings to them. That to me is indicating that there is a triple reinforcement here for you to be slowing down this week, going within, experiencing some silence, maybe doing some meditation, really tapping into the third eye or that place of intuition within yourself. Now, the other thing that's coming up for me is that I don't know why, but I'm being called to bring this up, is that when we think about the third eye, we think about the mind. And the mind is different from the third eye. The third eye is a place of intuition, and it's very subtle. The mind is a place that has a lot of chatter, and the chatter very often comes out in blatant themes, whereas your intuition comes out in very subtle themes, where you have to kind of look at it and go, oh, that's what that meant, because you didn't see it in the moment. When you spend your time in silence, you'll have fewer of those, oh, that's what that meant. How could I have missed that moments? And in the moment, you'll experience, oh, my intuition's talking. I'm meant to be doing that. Okay. So this week, slow down, live in the present moment. There is a choice or a decision that you're going to have to make. And the best way to do that is experience some silence. Okay. This silence card is about turning off the chatter in your own mind, turning off the chatter of Netflix, turning off the chatter of YouTube as you sit here watching a YouTube video, right? There's a little bit of irony there, isn't there? And withdrawing from society. Now, a lot of people go, oh, she's telling me to meditate again, and I just don't have time, and I have to go get groceries, and I have to go get the kids from soccer and dance lessons, and. These three cards, I mean, let's face it, if you are watching this video, you're watching this video because you need to hear this message right now. The universe is trying to get your attention, and the universe on three separate cards that came out randomly from the deck are saying, slow down, live in the present moment, and experience some silence, because the universe has a really, really important message for you this week. Let's have a look at the card that is on the bottom of the deck. The card that is on the bottom of the deck for you is the Empress. The Empress is represented by creativity. This is a card that is your shadow this week. Shadow cards are cards that we pull from the bottom of the deck and show us the energies or influences that are bubbling just below the surface, that are trying to come out, that are trying to get our attention, but we are not paying attention. This week, this most creative of female figures is trying to get your attention and trying to bring you back into that place of creativity. Here's the thing. If in my example where you're sitting there going, oh, geez, I don't have time to meditate. I have to go get the kids. I have to go do this. I have to go do that, blah, 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 blah. Part of what's happening is your creativity is being suppressed, and it's not allowing you to be able to find the time in a creative way, right? Bring creativity back into your life as you're bringing this silence, this slowing down, and this living moment to moment in. And I think that by Saturday, you are going to be experiencing a whole different way of life. Things are going to feel different for you. And it's actually going to be really, really refreshing for you. And you're going to, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? Okay. Thank you so much for being here again this week. I hope you'll join me again next Monday. And if you are new to the channel here, check out some of the other videos. I just posted the videos for each of the 12 zodiac signs with predictions for the first half of July. So kindly enjoy those videos as well. Take care, everyone.